Jeffersonville is sort of a unique and certainly an interesting community. It traces its history back to first people coming down the Ohio River. And why did they stop here? There wasn't anything here except for the falls of Ohio. And what happened was people would come down on the river in flatboats, canoes, or some kind of craft. And because of the falls, which was not a great big falls like Niagara Falls, but it was a falls of about 22 feet. It was the only falls on the entire stretch of the Ohio River. So by happenstance or bad luck or whatever, people had to stop here. And when they stopped, they had to figure out some way to get past the falls. Well, they would stop here and maybe stay for a few days and try to figure out the best way around it. Well, that led to the growth of a community, because when those people would stop, they would need supplies, they would need assistance, would need help. So it started in a very meager way, but even that was the beginning. That's the reason Louisville grew into the big city that it has become, because of the falls. Now, some people have asked, why is Louisville the larger city and Jeffersonville the smaller town? And it goes back to one critical decision. At some point, they realized they needed a canal to get around the falls. So the big debate, the big fight was, where will that canal be built? Which side of the river will that canal be built on? As it turned out, it was built on the Louisville side down around Portland. So that meant the commerce would be largely on the Louisville side. We got the best of both worlds in the long run. We are a small town, but yet we're part of a large metropolitan community. And I think we benefit from that. It's something nice about knowing your neighbors, knowing who runs the bank or who runs the newspaper. You can walk down the street and meet and know all these people. That's not always the case in a big community. So Jeffersonville started out because people couldn't go any further down the river, and they stopped here. And our whole character, our whole existence, and our culture is tied to that river. We are a great river city. It's dominated our community since its inception, and it always will. The Ohio River really was the great interstate highway system, several centuries ago. We didn't have interstates of concrete running east and west and north and south, but we had great rivers. So that brought many, many people down the river, and many would stop in this community, and we grew from it. Different people moved here. People have lived here from all over the United States, and many times even people from other parts of the world, because that was how you got west. That was the western migration of the United States, and Jeffersonville played a great, great role in that happening. If you lived in Jeffersonville, say around 1860, time of the Civil War, this was a very active community at the time of the Civil War. We're near Water Park right now, just a few steps from here. And Water Park at one time had a bakery of sorts that made food supplies for Union troops all over, primarily going south. There, you would have walked up and down Spring Street and probably seen a lot of Union soldiers. There was, because it was critical. I mean, we're right here on the Ohio River. I mean, you cross the river. Kentucky technically wasn't a southern state, but it certainly had many people that supported the efforts of the Confederacy. So there would have been a lot of tension. And Jeffersonville also was a staging area. There were a lot of supplies here that troops got before they went, into battle. So it was a very fascinating place to be. Also at that time, and also very, very important to our city, is Jeffersonville was a key spot for the Underground Railroad. And today, you can walk that path. If you go down to the edge of the Ohio River and start walking up that bank and then walk north along Spring Street, out as far as you want, that was the path. Many, many freed slaves took. Their first steps of freedom were in Jeffersonville, Indiana.